Hi there, it's Donovan, and as always joined by my co-host Mr. Dean in the 13th episode of The Special Hour.
Oh wait, were you wanting me to talk?
Yeah.
What's up, everyone?
Awesome.
It is Mr. Dean. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, as always. I can't believe we're at number 13. I can always say this every single episode, but it really is crazy. We have 13. After this episode comes out, we're gonna have 13 hours worth of us talking online, which is really crazy to think about. So once again, thank you so much to those of you that have been listening to every single episode that we've been putting out.
And to the new viewers, welcome. We have this ginormous playlist of 13 hours of a pure yap session. You know, it's all out there for you. I'm sure you'll enjoy some parts of it and really enjoy the entire package. Now for today, actually, well, hold on, I'm forgetting the pleasantries.
Yes.
Even though
Yes.
I forget we recorded the last one on Saturday. It is Wednesday, so short turnaround time. What have you been up to?
So the past week, as I mentioned last episode, I'm sustaining a bit of an injury right now. My finger has been healing. I think it looks a lot better. It's not nearly as red anymore. So that's good. Other than that, nothing too crazy. I do have 2 tests over the next 2 days. So definitely going to need to lock in over the next 48 hours on making sure I, get my degree and everything, 'cause that's pretty important. But yeah, I mean, what about you, Donovan? What have you been up to?
Yeah, so if you could just pull up a picture of hell, that is where I am currently. We have 2 projects basically due tomorrow. You have to present them on Friday, but you basically got to finish them up tomorrow. I want to die. It is so much work. It's such little turnaround time. There's one project, we're making a zine. I don't want to draw 1 billion pages, so I opted to film it instead, which is what I do best. I have a rideshare driver. I'm in architecture, by the way. But I have a rideshare driver. He's going to kill a serial killer who killed his brother, who is also a rideshare driver. We filmed that yesterday. It was great fun. Don't tell me how fast I went down the freeway.
How fast did you go down the freeway?
I got choked by a cord. What? Huh? I think there's a bird in my house. Hold on, give me a sec. But yeah, I'm having fun, but also it's very painful. So this is going to be a great hour of my time.
It's going to be a very special hour,
relief,
you could say.
You could say, and as we segue into this perfect segue into our next topic, we would like to introduce not Nintendo Selects, but the Special Selects, some of the games that we've been playing recently. Is it a slow news week? How could you tell? Well, we are passionate gamers and we love playing video games. We also love talking about them and analyzing them. And what better way to show our selects by just talking about the games that we've played recently. It doesn't matter either if it's Nintendo, PlayStation, PC, the Leapfrog. Who cares? It could be cool math games. Let's just talk about them. So,
okay, let's talk about cool math games, actually, since you brought that up.
Hell yeah.
So I don't know about you, but I grew up on cool math. I think a lot of people our age did, just because a lot of those Flash games are very easy to play, whenever you're in school, in class. Everything from the Papa's games, where it's Papa's Freezeria, all those, Run, the world's hardest game. There's so many classics on cool math. I feel like, people don't give it enough credit for how fun those games are. I just wanted to come in really quick to the defense of cool math. I am a starch defender of that website.
Yeah, cool math games. We're just going to briefly talk about this one. I remember first time experiencing it. It's in school. It's an educational website. It's cool math. Of course, it's educational. It was anything but that's kind of a cool thing that, you and your fellow students, it was like a little secret you kept from the teachers that cool math games isn't actually about math, and they've got some bangers, all-time greats, Fire Boy and
Water Girl, or is it Fire?
No, Water Boy and Fire Girl, yeah, and Run 3, the Papa's games, all bangers. Great uses of our time.
One of my personal favorites was always Johnny Upgrade, for anyone that played that one. It's a platforming classic up there with the likes of Super Mario World and Castlevania, all those games. And it really is just that good.
They're quality games. I remember when Adobe Flash was shut down. For a second, I thought Cool Math Games was cooked. Luckily, they're still kicking it even to this day. I kind of want a Cool Math Game shirt.
Cool Math merch would be next level.
I believe there is a shirt out there. I kind of want that. Today I just bought Autobot emblems for my car because I'm a dork. But
well, and speaking of
awesome.
Speaking of random like school memories too. I mean, did you guys ever watch Brain Pop whenever you were in school?
Sounds familiar.
So Brain Pop.
I think I have.
For anyone unfamiliar, it was Tim and Moby. Moby was an AI robot. Tim was just a generic white guy. But they were there to teach you about all sorts of school subjects in a very accessible way for children. But whenever we were talking about Cool Math, I was randomly thinking about like Brain Pop. We used to do this thing called Think Through Math, where like you get points for solving math problems and you can like make an avatar. I don't know. There's like so many of those websites that like gamified the learning process. Well, I don't even know why that spawned from Cool Math because like you said, there's very little math in those games, but school was just crazy. There's just so many like websites like that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay, but anyway, on a real note, though, what games have you been playing? Yes. What games have you been playing, Donovan?
Yeah, probably the biggest one that I've been playing, through, I think I'm 40% of the way through the game, is Clair Obscur Expedition 33. The biggest kid on the block for the biggest contender for Game of the Year, you could say. This is a turn-based RPG with some real-time action elements that I greatly enjoy. It's probably my favorite turn-based combat system ever, primarily because it spices things up with real-time action. Do you know anything about this game?
I know very little. What I do know is that there was the actor that played Daredevil who voiced one of the characters. What's his name? Oh, no.
Charlie Cox?
Charlie Cox, yes, thank you. Charlie Cox.
Really?
Yeah, so he voiced one of the characters in Expedition 33.
What?
And then apparently whenever he was asked about it, he was like, I didn't even really know what the game is because I'm not a gamer. But he was like, apparently it's really good. And I was like, well, no, and to his respect, unlike whenever most celebrities say I'm not a gamer and they say it in a very condescending way, like I'm not with those childish games like he sounded genuinely like he felt bad that he wasn't a gamer and he like respected the product. So I like Charlie Cox. I think he's a really cool guy.
Charlie Cox voices the main character. Oh my god, that's why he sounded so familiar. He voices Gustav.
Which side tangent really quick, if anyone listening to this has never seen Daredevil, the show, please watch it. It's amazing. So go on.
Expedition 33, I got into this game primarily because the premise sounded very, very similar to another JRPG that I've played that I've greatly loved. The basic premise is, it's called Expedition 33. These expeditioners traveled to this island to defeat the Paintress who, if you're 33 years old, for example, once you reach that age, you basically are going to die within the next year. So every year it's been like 67, 66, 65. The clock keeps ticking down and down. So, no, 41, 69. We're 68.
I just dated this episode for no reason at all.
Yeah. So, basically, at the beginning of the game, everyone that was 34 years old, they all die. They all have this very special ceremony. They all know what's coming. They accept their deaths and they die. It's pretty heartfelt and heartwarming. Gustav's ex, they kind of got back together for that final day of their lives. And she went away because she was 34. And now it's their turn. 33 years old. It's time for them to go to the island and defeat the Paintress. It's a pretty meek and dire situation. There's not much hope amongst the crew. That's kind of the beauty of the game, holding on to hope. And, that one, it takes only, a couple people to stand up and, make a change for this expedition, for this whole world. I don't know the entire story, but from what I've played, it's pretty beautiful. It's some great stuff that I've seen in any medium, and pushes the gaming medium forward. I really do like what I've seen so far. But the reason why I picked up Expedition 33 was because the premise was super similar to Xenoblade Chronicles 3. So eerily similar, I thought they were straight up plagiarizing at one point before I bought the game, because Xenoblade 3 kind of deals with that exact same thing. You have 10 years to live. How are you going to live it?
So another game I still need to play,
or you're going to submit. And so another game you need to play. I was so intrigued. Xenoblade 3, one of my favorite games of all time. And it's like, this game looks awfully similar. Just the differences are graphical style. Xenoblade has that more anime aesthetic, while Expedition 33 has a more realistic edge. I will say Expedition 33 looks beautiful, some amazingly creative environments, just jaw-dropping scenery. Combat, maybe once I finish the game, I should compare these two different titans just for the sake of it, just because the stories are so similar and they're kind of in the same genre. But I mean, Xenoblade 3 has a more real-time, definitely way more real-time action compared to Expedition 33. I guess the main takeaway I had with Expedition 33 so far is how it displayed its story, and that's what inspired my latest video and possibly a future discussion that we could have. It's cutscenes in video games. Many people are chalking up Expedition 33 to be game of the year, game of the decade even. They're saying it's just that good. And one of the things that I was looking at in this game was how they did cutscenes. You can probably look at my video and maybe a future discussion about this later. But, it just made me think, are some games overhyped because of cutscenes? Do they use them as a crutch, or are cutscenes just that vital of a component to a video game? It's just a very nuanced question that I had a lot of fun diving deep into. Enjoying my time with Expedition 33. Can't wait to see what happens next. Let's see if I can survive my two projects first.
With Expedition 33... I've been intrigued by it, because I've talked about in the show too, like how there's just so many JRPGs that I still need to play in the first place. But the combat looks really fun. I think the story looks really engaging and enticing. So hearing you speak so highly of it does make me more interested in giving the game a shot. It's hard for me to dive into big games like that, especially ones that I probably wouldn't really be able to cover on my channel, or at least if I did, it wouldn't perform as well as if I talked about Mario Kart for the 50th time. But I definitely probably will get around to it at some point. And whenever I do, we can have more of a back and forth conversation about.
Yeah, I think Expedition 33, since people are chalking up to be game of the decade, I haven't finished it. I'm not trying to throw shade at it. But if Expedition 33 is game of the decade, Xenoblade 3 might be game of the century. I'm just saying it.
Okay, so the title of this podcast is definitely going to be Donovan Hates Expedition.
Anyways, what game do you hate? Recently.
What game do I hate recently? I could rant about Mario Kart 64 again if you want. But that's not recent though. I've always not really liked that game. But in terms of what games I've played recently though, I've replayed Super Mario 3D World. That's been fun because I needed to get footage of it again. I could kind of go into my thoughts on the game if you want, although I feel like we've probably talked about it before. I don't really remember, but just in case, with Super Mario 3D World, I'm personally an advocate for that game. I think that a lot of people kind of push it to the wayside, kind of because it's sandwiched between the more, experimental era from 64 to Galaxy, and right after we had Super Mario Odyssey, which of course revitalized the sandbox collectathon design of, Mario. I guess, does 64 even really count as collectathon compared to something else like Banjo-Kazooie?
I consider that. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I guess so, yeah. Anyway,
it kind of spawned it.
Yeah, so 3D World, I think a lot of people kind of look unfavorably at. I'm not saying it's the best 3D Mario or anything, but I really like it to this day. I still think the soundtrack is maybe my favorite, honestly, aside from Galaxy. I love the soundtrack of 3D World. A lot of the levels, although not extremely in-depth because they're much shorter and more obstacle course designed, I think are actually relatively memorable. Yeah, like even just like the boss fights are kind of cool too. Or at least most of them. So yeah, I played 3D World. I also have been replaying a little bit of Astrobot again. An awesome game. I've talked about it on my channel. My opinion has really not changed at all. So if you want to hear a full summary of what I think about Astrobot, feel free to go over to my channel and watch it. Not to shamelessly plug myself, but
yeah,
you know.
I think like for Super Mario 3D World, I really love that game, especially in co-op. I played that game twice, all the way through to Champions Road in co-op. I don't think I've sat down and thoroughly played that game just in single player. I think you're missing out so much if you don't gather 3 other idiots and dick around and trudge through every single course. It's so fun. I think it's just a masterclass in multiplayer platforming, especially with its more linear design. It's all a curated experience. And again, Astrobot, really great. Really great 3D platformer. Big inspiration, obviously, from probably the Mario Galaxy games. And if you want to experience the Mario Galaxy games, you could pay $70. On the topic of platformers, I don't think I've ever gotten across my full feeling. I don't think both of us have ever talked about feelings on the ending and just the overall game in general of Donkey Kong Bonanza. I know we've talked about this game a few times on this podcast, but that was
Didn't we spend a whole episode talking about Bonanza? I mean, I'm down to talk about it again.
I think we talked about I think we talked about it before we finished it.
Okay, I mean, we can talk
briefly.
About it
we want to talk about the ending because that was such a fun time.
Yeah, I really thought the final boss was like very extravagant. I remember, spoiler by the way, in case of it's been like a month now, 2 months. But in case if you haven't played it, spoiler. But yeah, the final boss is crazy. There's like, how many phases are there in that fight?
Like there's like 3 or 4. I think 3.
Yeah, I remember that final fight was actually relatively difficult. Well, I don't know if difficult is the right word, but it's very time consuming. In terms of the ending of the game, though, yeah.
Yeah. All right, great podcast. Let's end it here.
We really have a lot of in-depth dialogue about it. No, it's Bonanza. I mean, you were of course sitting here talking about Expedition 33 being game of the year, or how everyone else is talking about it being game of the year. And I'm not necessarily saying Bonanza should be instead, especially because I literally haven't played Expedition 33. But Donkey Kong Bonanza wouldn't be a bad choice. That's all I'm gonna say.
I have the liberty of playing both. I haven't finished Expedition 33 again, but I have completed Donkey Kong Bonanza, and what I could say is that it is the most video game I've ever played, and that is not a bad thing. That is a great thing. It's not afraid of, what medium it's in. It is such a great experience throughout. And also the ending with the boss, it's King K. Rool, by the way. Some people may say, it's a cop-out, it's just, just for, dingling keys in front of your face. But, I mean, who else would be the twist villain of a Donkey Kong game? Bowser? No, King K. Rool. That is the man to do a twist villain. It just works. It just fits so well when you put all the pieces together. It's like, wait a minute.
I also love how the game puts us in the Metro Kingdom too. That's probably my favorite part about that whole ending sequence is how, obviously it's a callback to Odyssey with Pauline being, in the game. But I remember as soon as I was playing it and the Metro Kingdom just like popped up on my screen, I was like all giddy. I was like, wait, I remember that place.
Yeah, that's true. I think the fact that it is the Metro Kingdom, just sweetens that whole ending sequence a lot more. But even if you don't even know what the Metro Kingdom is, just having the setting in, the city where Pauline is from and showing all the terror that King K. Rool is causing, all of his rot the brain rot is consuming the people. It's just a really, really awesome sequence that that sort of puts a pause to the main fight of just punching K. Rool to death. It has some platforming elements where you use most of the Bananza transformations. It's a great mix-up and a great way to transition from phase 1 to phase 3. And also the part where phase 3 happens in like a cage fight. That was so cool.
It turns into like kind a boxing match or something.
Yeah, kind of a callback to Donkey Kong 64. I was waiting for Funky Kong to show up with Candy Kong and to King K. Rool for him to lose his shit and die to a boot cannon, something stupid like that. But now that entire boss fight was so fun, pretty challenging. I had to use some of the heal items that basically, when you basically lose all your hearts, it kind of restores some hearts back. I did have to. It was whittling down my health a little bit. This game might be targeted to 3-year-olds, but
yeah, Donovan, I think that this might be a you problem. I don't know.
One of the funny parts of that is how the frame rate just fucking died when rot started to appear. The rot was just consuming my Switch too. It might have been a real factor. It might have been a real thing.
It was an amalgamation.
It was hilarious. I'm like, holy crap! King K. Rool is so fucking strong. He's hurt Switch too. It was at that point where I realized, maybe this frame rate thing is a little bit annoying. But I trudged through the rot and I beat his ass, and just a fun time. And going back to that cutscene bit, the aura and hype moments of that game aren't delegated to the cutscenes. They are delegated to the gameplay. The best part of Donkey Kong Bananza isn't dedicated to a reward of a cutscene, but the act of playing the game itself. And that is where I think, Bananza truly shines. Every single moment is like a highlight when you're playing the game. Every single action, movement, punch, enemies, terrain, it all just feels great. And this is definitely a Game of the Year contender. It may even deserve Game of the Year.
Okay, so once again, that's going to be the new title of the video. Donovan says Bananza is better than Expedition.
Donovan hates Expedition 33.
Okay. So I think we have a pretty fun segment that'll probably carry through most of the show. So we did an episode of, I think it was like episode 7 or so, I don't remember, but we were looking at the best-selling Switch games, and that was a really fun conversation to reflect back on them, to kind of discuss what our thoughts on each game was. And, I was like, since this is a slow news week, let's, hit the same topic with another console, this time being the Wii. So, Donovan, are you excited to talk about what the 15 best-selling Wii games are? See whether they deserve their spot on the list or whether they should not be on the list.
I can't wait to talk about all these different, the Wii series in particular. I think that should be interesting.
Okay, well, so the first game, we're not escaping Donkey Kong. We're still on topic. At number 15 is Donkey Kong Country Returns. This is an interesting case because a lot of the allure of this game comes from the nostalgia surrounding the trilogy on the Super Nintendo. I think it's really cool how they took what made those original games so special, both with the atmosphere and the difficulty of them, because Country Returns is a relatively hard game. It's not as difficult as, especially the first two, really the second one. I remember there were a lot of trolley moments in those original trilogy games, and that's not as prevalent in Country Returns. The main downside that many people point out with Country Returns is the motion controls, especially with how often you have to shake the Wii remote. This was sort of rectified in the 3DS remake, but then the frame rate took a hit. And then finally, of course, there's the remake on the Switch, which was like $60. Was it 50 or 60?
60.
Yeah, so it was $60 for an almost unchanged Wii game. So that was lovely. But that is pretty much the definitive version for sure. But anyway, I think in terms of does this game deserve a spot on the 15 best-selling Wii games, compared to some of the other games that we have on this list, I would say for sure. What about you?
Mm-hmm. Donkey Kong Country Returns, it deserves it. It's great return to form for the 2D, basically the Donkey Kong Country series in general, or just Donkey Kong in general. I mean, last time before this, it was probably Donkey Kong Jungle Beat, which they had a weird barrier of entry with the DK bongos. Not saying any. I'm not talking about the quality of the game, not talking about any of that. But Donkey Kong Country Returns, it truly was a return to form. It's one of the pinnacles of its genre. Deserves to be number 15. Maybe it deserves to be a little bit higher than. What am I seeing in number 14?
I think also one thing I do really like about Country Returns compared to Tropical Freeze is that a lot of the levels are shorter. I still love Tropical Freeze as well, but my heart's always kind of leaned towards Country Returns, to be honest. So I don't know if that's just because it was the first game I played compared to Tropical Freeze, but that's my little hot take because I feel like a lot of people say Tropical Freeze is the best in the series.
I've actually never played Country Returns, but I have played Tropical Freeze twice.
Yeah, Tropical Freeze is great. It definitely is really good. I still prefer Returns. Like I said, mainly because of the level design, but both are really good games. So moving on to number 14 is Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. I'm pretty sure it's just like the first one, because there are multiple. I think there's like 3 different ones on the Wii. This is just like such one of the games of all time, in my opinion. Like, I guess it makes sense because it's such a casual gamer marketed, release, but like, I don't know. Top 15 Wii game? No.
That surprised me. It sold, Country Returns sold pretty well. This sold apparently even better. I mean, it's Mario and Sonic, one of the greatest rivalries in gaming in general. I think this might be one of their first times meeting up in a big giant release, and it was at the Olympics. So this was in real life. So this was true. It happened. Trust. Was this in 2008 or 10?
I believe it was 8 because 2010 was the Vancouver Winter Olympics. The thing with Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games is like, yeah, all the games aren't the exact same, but for all intents and purposes, they're all so similar to one another that, I don't know, I can't say that it's like, oh, you need to play the first one. It's like, obviously some of them are misses, like the one from Tokyo 2020. That one was not the brightest spot.
The last one. Fun fact, they killed that for NFTs.
Yes, I think I remember me and you ranted about this to each other. This was obviously way before the podcast, but I remember we talked about that. But yeah, anyway, top 15 Wii game, no. So was there anything else that you wanted to say about that?
Nope.
That pretty much sums up what the game is. It's just there's very little to say. Number 13 is a shocker. We have Super Mario Galaxy 2. This should be like top 5. Like this is Super Mario Galaxy 2 is like one of the greatest 3D platformers like period of all time. I guess it makes sense. The Wii has a lot of hit games, including the predecessing Galaxy game, but not even top 10. I don't know. Like, how about this? Do you think that Galaxy 2 or 1 is the better Galaxy game?
Ooh, I have played both. Galaxy 2, I owned Galaxy 2 when I was a kid, and I've played Galaxy 1 when 3D All-Stars hit. One's more nostalgic, but one feels more recent and fresh in my mind. One feels more cinematic. The other's more video gamey. I'm gonna give it to Galaxy.
Well, and that lines up because Galaxy's higher up on the list. I actually agree. I think Galaxy 2, there are elements of it that I really like. I like how the game is more fast-paced, a little bit harder, although neither game is really that hard. I'm not a fan of the green stars of Galaxy 2 personally. That's like really the only nitpick I can muster up about that game in general. Yoshi's a part of it, which is awesome. I like how a lot of the galaxies go for a daytime aesthetic versus like the vast expanse of space like the first game. But once again, it's like the whole gameplay loop of Galaxy was so perfect that they would have had to try to fuck it up, and thankfully they didn't. Galaxy 2 should probably be a top 10 best-selling Wii game, but I mean, at least it's on the list.
Here's my 2 cents. I think Galaxy 2 is probably the more tight gaming experience. It's a little bit more curated than Galaxy 1, but I still prefer Galaxy 1 because of its overall atmosphere and kind of the whole the stakes and this quote-unquote cinematic flair to the game. That's why I give Galaxy 1 a bit more of an edge.
Yeah, and we'll talk, I'll talk a little bit more about Galaxy 1 whenever we get to it. At number 12, we have The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, the only Zelda game on this list. Twilight Princess is, of course, very significant in its franchise. For anyone that doesn't know the context, whenever the N64 era was like in its prime, you had Ocarina of Time and especially Majora's Mask, much more quote-unquote mature Zelda games. Majora's Mask is a legitimately mature game. Ocarina of Time is still obviously very palatable, but it still has that very heroic, like adventure-y feel to it. And then with the GameCube franchise, the GameCube releases, first we had Wind Waker, which was very controversial whenever it released. Nowadays, many people love it, including me, but definitely upon its release, they went for the whole shell-shaded, like, cartoony art style, and people were like, they turned this into a kid's game, and then, people didn't like it. So whenever...
I can't be seen playing this. I go to high school and have sex all the time.
Sex all the time. So whenever Twilight Princess came out, it was of course a very big deal because it was, Zelda being mature again. Overall, I've never been a huge fan of the art style of the game. It's like so gritty looking that it's just not really appealing to me. Aside from that, though, the actual game itself is really fun and what's the word? Like bombastic with its like adventure element. It feels like it feels more dystopian than, at least to me, than like a lot of the other Zelda games. Another thing that is very important to bring up is the whole introduction of the game. The first few hours are a little bit of a slog, but once you get past them, the game is very fun and action-packed. And of course, the whole Wolf Link thing is awesome. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. In terms of real world, I can't think right now.
But all right, so thank you guys for watching this episode.
All right, see you guys. No, in real world, this is a time when Zelda, it's still a very big tentpole franchise for Nintendo, but it wasn't like Breath of the Wild huge. It wasn't selling 30 million units huge. I mean, I don't know the exact number of pieces Twilight Princess sold, but it's definitely a far cry from what we have today. It just shows how much the Zelda series has grown. I remember Twilight Princess used to be the best-selling Zelda game at its time, so this was definitely a huge step forward for the franchise. Bringing basically some lifelong dreams came true with Twilight Princess. Now, in terms of the game, I actually have never played Twilight Princess. I have watched a ton of long plays as a kid and growing up. I've watched so many long plays of this game. I know so much of the lore. I could tell you a fun fact right now. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah, I love fun facts.
Yeah, the hero Shade in Twilight Princess, that's actually the hero of Time from Ocarina of Time. So
really?
Ocarina of Time Link is Twilight Princess Link's, I think, grandfather.
Sorry, I was drinking water.
He's so dumbfounded. He drank his water to take it all in.
I'm sorry. I thought so. I was thinking you were gonna go like a little bit longer. So I was like, okay, now's a good time to drink water. And then I heard you finish your sentence, and I was like, fuck. I was like having to like almost choke on the water trying to swallow it. And then I just heard you go like, yep. And I was like,
oh. Nice reaction. Clip that, put that in the shorts, put it on TikTok. We're going to get a lot of people coming here. It's going to drive so much traffic. But Twilight Princess, I really like the aesthetic of the game. I really like mature Zelda. I mean, sometimes the character models kind of gross me out. There's other times that, it kind of... All the environments and the overall mood and aesthetic just make my jaw drop. The whole Twilight aesthetic is so cool. I guess the cinematics are also really cool. Xant's really cool. Ganondorf, character-wise, he's a little bit lame, but he looks so cool. Everyone's just aura farming in that game. Midna is a top-tier Zelda character.
Oh yeah, I didn't even mention Midna.
One of the greats. Wolf Link is it's a unique mechanic that has never been done in any other Zelda game. It has its, Twilight Princess has its own identity. There are moments where the game can be a bit of a slog, but I kind of equate that to, but I kind of equate those slower moments to like movies like The Dark Knight Rises, where yes, that movie is definitely moves a little bit slower and is definitely the longest one of the trilogy, but I feel like what the whole mood, the whole atmosphere, the message and soul of that movie, I love it so much that I can look past those slower, more dull moments. So all in all, Twilight Princess being number 12, it used to be the best-selling Zelda game, definitely was a good step forward for the franchise.
I think it deserves to be on the list for sure. I think it could even be argued it could be top 10, but 12 is fine. So number 11, this is one where I might ruffle some feathers. We have Mario Party 8. For anyone that doesn't know, I don't like this game. So if you like Mario Party 8, cover your ears. Donovan, what do you think about Mario Party 8?
I've never played it, but I bet I will be playing it eventually with a couple Mario Party friends, Mario Party freaks, you could call them. I guess the overall aesthetic of Mario Party 8 kind of creeps me out a little. It feels like...
Yeah, I agree.
Feels like Gmod. Like Mario characters plopped in like realistic settings. It looks strange.
Well, and the fucking host of the game is like a talking top hat. It's so weird.
That's disgusting.
And okay, so here's my 2 cents on the game. The boards for the most part are not good. Of course, Mario Party 8 is home to probably the best board in the entire franchise, being Koopa's Tycoon Town. I think that's what it's called. For anyone that doesn't know why, essentially you are able to actually invest into buildings almost like it's like actual real estate, and then you can like outbid each other on the property. It's such a unique board that none of the other games in the series capture the same kind of magic. Aside from that, though, I'm not a fan of the boards, especially the stupid, like, haunted King Boo one, where all the rooms are, like, completely randomized, so you aren't even really able to actually strategize your moves. Of course, some would argue that, part of the fun of Mario Party is that it's all luck and it's all random. I disagree. I think that there is a happy medium between operating your strategy around said luck. It's very similar to how in Mario Kart, there is that zany element of items that adds the chaotic nature to the races, but at the end of the day, you are able to still use strategy to, personalize the experience and make it so whenever you win a game, it feels like you won said game. All of that rant is to say, I think Mario Party boards should strike the balance between, random luck craziness and not making everything completely random where you aren't able to use your brain. So aside from that, I'm also not a big fan of the motion controls of the mini games. This is one of the Wii games that really force motion controls bad, especially with some of the mini games, like the one where you're like shaking a can and it just looks like you're jerking off. That one's really odd. Do you not know what I'm talking about? There's a mini game where you're literally just like... sorry to get graphic, by the way, for the viewers at home.
I know those are mini games in Super Mario Party Jamboree where you basically jerk off.
The one in Mario Party 8
the one on the Wii.
It's more obscene than the one on the Wii. It's more graphic.
Wait! I know it. Yeah, I know it now. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Not a big fan of the mini games, and then the game is also, this is a really weird nitpicky thing, but it's one of those Wii games that's like in a 4:3 aspect ratio, and it makes it like look really crunched in. I don't know. I am personally not a fan of Mario Party 8, even though it was the first Mario Party game I played, and I have a lot of nostalgia with it. But I would not want it to be in the top 15 best-selling Wii games, but at the end of the day, it's Mario Party, so it makes sense. And we have another party game at number 10 with Wii Party. I haven't played this game, but apparently it's really good. I feel like every single YouTuber I've seen make videos talking about the game, they're like, this is one of the most underrated party games on the Wii, and I'm like, okay, I don't know. I mean, the game goes for like a lot of money online. So like I'm not really planning on buying it anytime soon. But yeah, have you ever played Wii
The fact
Party?
that you were dogging on Mario Party 8 makes me believe, yeah, Wii Party might just be better than Mario Party 8 quality wise.
Probably.
I don't know why I'm talking so far away from my mic. Wii Party, I've never played it, but I've seen again on YouTube. This is the second time I'm bringing him up. 2 times in a row. Pooh Fesher. He's played that game to death. He's done so many challenges on that game. I basically know that game inside and out just from like watching him. And that game is so unfair. Let's be clear here. It is so rigged. I've seen that man rage so hard at the stupidest shit. One time a hard computer got 4 sixes in a row and won the game. That game is so rigged. It's not even funny. It's so unfair. From what I've seen, it looks like a fun time. There's one thing called minigame. Is it Minigame Island, I think? Basically a linear path to the finish. I guess that's a shake up to the more open-ended structure of a Mario Party board. But then there's also like Globetrotters, I believe, where I feel like that's more like Mario Party. It's basically Mario Party but meified. That's essentially what it is. Some of those minigames they look really hilarious. Others look so bullshit. It's just pure party fun. I guess that's why it's number 10. It's also number 10 probably because it just had Wii in the title. And back then, if you had Wii in the title, you're probably guaranteed at least to a certain extent for success.
Yeah, I mean, whenever we get to the top 6, you might get more evidence for why you're saying that. But yeah, I mean, I guess I've never played the game. If it's as good as everyone says, I mean, I guess it's top 10. I don't know. Everyone seems to like do tricks on it. So, I mean, maybe it's that good. I don't know. Number 9, this is a really funny one. We got Just Dance 3. Just to jump to this game's defense, I did used to really like it. I remember I played Just Dance 3 on Xbox 360 as a kid with the Kinect. They had some really good songs on it. I'm not gonna lie, like they had some bangers. It was fun. Is it better than Super Mario Galaxy 2, Twilight Princess, and Donkey Kong Country Returns? Yeah, for sure. I think Just Dance 3 is definitely better. So that's my take on it.
It's Just Dance. I mean, Just Dance probably works super well on the Wii. I mean, whenever I think Just Dance, I think of the Wii. I remember, was it Just Dance 2019? It got a Wii version, but not a Wii U version, which I thought was really beautiful. Funny. Just Dance feels so at home on the Wii. I cannot talk about the quality of the game. Also, if I played it, I would look terrible. I'm terrible at dancing.
I remember there was specifically one song that I like memorized the dance to as a kid called Spectronizer. I think that's what the song was called. It was like, I don't even remember how it went, but I just remember as a kid, like me and my friends literally had that entire routine down. Like we would all specifically choose one of the colors because it was like 4 different Power Rangers as the dancers. So yeah, that's just a little Mr. Dean anecdote for Just Dance 3. So
does it deserve to be number 9?
No, but
there you have it, folks.
But I unironically would rather Just Dance 3 be on the list than Mario Party 8. So there you go. At number 8, we have Super Mario Galaxy 1. Once again, this should be top 5, but what can you do? Super Mario Galaxy, we already kind of touched on it before, but I'll go a little bit more specific on this game. Like you said, very cinematic vibe. Literally right from the beginning of the game, we see Bowser, having a whole like airship fleet, like literally uprooting Peach's castle and stealing it and taking it into space. And Mario has to partner up with Rosalina to collect power stars in order to power the Comet Observatory to take him to the center of the universe. There's just such a climactic feel about the plot of Galaxy and what all is at stake and going on, because you're literally saving the fucking universe. Like we went from Mario's little vacation getting ruined and him getting framed for like graffiti in sunshine to literally the entire universe and everything that's ever existed being at stake. So basically, this is like the Avengers Endgame of Mario. The actual level design is so much fun. There's only like very few levels I don't like in Galaxy. So many memorable missions and boss fights. The soundtrack is maybe my favorite gaming soundtrack of all time, depending on what mood I'm in. There's so many classics. You got Gusty Garden, Space Junk Galaxy. The Deep Dark Galaxy is really underrated. The actual theme song, and of course, I'm really excited for the movie and to see how much it captures the magic. From the original game. So Donovan, what do you think about Galaxy?
Yeah. Other than what I've stated before, this just feels so eventful, so impactful, not just in terms of just, in real life, but in terms of the game. I feel like for like something like Mario Odyssey, it kind of starts off like, oh, look at this, Bowser's kidnapping Peach again. But this game really sets in the tone. Like, dude, Bowser is taking. I can't even speak. What was I gonna say? Bowser isn't taking any shit today.
Take your time, Donovan.
He means business. I love the mood and atmosphere of this game. All its deep blues, it's dark space vibes. It's just so unique, like a plumber in space with no like astronaut gear, just overalls in space. That's just aura right there. The level design is so amazing. It's so great, so unique. Like, what other game has you like jumping around planetoids in like, such a tight fashion and such a awesomely, just all the set pieces are so great. Again, it's probably one of the greatest games of all time. Maybe it's usurped by Odyssey, Galaxy 2, or maybe even Bonanza, but it still holds up super well today. It's great. Though I can see why, looking at this list, it sold a little bit less than the other Mario game in this list. But overall, I mean, one of the greatest games of all time, one of the most influential games of all time. It still stands up to this day. Yeah, I think it showed off, the capabilities of the Wii decently well, especially with the IR pointer, I guess, with collecting star bits, and I guess maybe the act of shaking your Wii remote. I feel like that's just more impactful, spinning Mario around than simply pressing the Y button in 3D All Stars. I don't know. There's something about that tactile feel, and then the sound coming out of your Wii remote, all those crunchy sounds.
Oh, don't say crunchy, Donovan. Also, before we move on from Galaxy, I was also going to say, I think it's so cool how they actually made the gravity work, and it actually controls well. That's one of the most fascinating parts about that game, because if you really think about it, it could have gone so wrong. But thankfully, they stuck the landing with it. So, yeah, I mean, we could have a whole podcast talking about Galaxy if we really wanted to, but... yeah. So moving on, next up we have Super Smash Bros. Brawl at number 7. I made a video talking about Subspace Emissary, to summarize my thoughts on that. I love how much of a celebration of all of gaming's IPs it is, and it morphs all of them into one cohesive story. And by the way, the cutscenes, we were talking about cutscenes earlier, Donovan. The cutscenes in Subspace Emissary are next level. I forgot exactly. I think it's an hour or something worth of cutscenes. It's like almost a full movie. Of course, Brawl's controversial with tripping and how broken the character roster is. This is coming from someone that is admittedly not a huge Smash Bros. Connoisseur. Brawl was the first game I played. It also went for a very edgy and gritty like art style, which is really funny to me. How all the characters look so like angry and like mature. It's very similar to like Super Mario Strikers in that way. Overall, I think Brawl deserves to be on the list. I still have a lot of fun with it. So
I'm surprised at the other games that passed up Super Smash Bros. Brawl, but this game, at the time, was the best-selling game in its franchise, and possibly during its time, correct me if I'm wrong, but possibly the best-selling fighting game at its time as well. I believe this game sold around like something like, was it like 28 million or something? It was a big number. It was pretty huge. It's multiplayer mayhem. Smash Brawl was my childhood Smash game. One of my favorite Wii games of all time. I remember playing that not just at my house, but just at, like summer camps. Everyone was around this game. Everyone was trying to be the best. Meta Knight was so broken. Tripping was bullshit. Subspace Emissary was so cool, though, to be honest. Just like as I said in my my video about cutscenes, maybe I was playing it for the cutscenes and not the actual game itself.
Well, the actual game itself is fun, though. Like I've always thought Subspace Emissary is fun.
The Subspace Emissary?
Yeah, like that. I think that's not really an example of cutscenes like carrying the game. I mean,
okay. I think I'm playing Subspace Emissary. I'm chugging through that just to see the cutscenes.
Well, I mean, I think the cutscenes are my favorite part, but like I still have fun playing it. But okay, well, sounds like we need to table this for a future podcast episode.
Topic for another discussion. But yeah, Smash Brawl, fun time. Number 7. I'm very surprised at the other games that passed it up, like number 6.
Yeah, so number 6 we have fucking Wii Fit. Okay, I guess in terms of fitness games, you can't go wrong with Wii Fit. It's good. I mean, I think that there's better fitness games out there. I've always thought that like Ring Fit Adventure is really good. I know like what other fitness games are there? There's like, I know that the Xbox 360 had a few, but like Wii Fit, especially Wii Fit Plus with like the extra games that they added in, it's fun. It's not better than like half of the games that we already talked about, but I'm also not surprised. I'm pretty sure they also counted the sales of Wii Fit and Wii Fit Plus like together, or I might be wrong, but like for some reason I feel like I've heard that before, where like they were like counted as like one unit.
So by technicality, I see.
That might be wrong.
This is a case. This is a case where, they put Wii in the title and it's going to sell millions. I own Wii Fit Plus. My parents bought it when I was really young. They never used it. I'm assuming that's maybe 20% of people, or maybe 50% of people that bought this game. Is it even a game?
Does it count as a game?
I don't know the health benefits of this. We could probably look that up.
Anyone listening, if you've ever used Wii Fit and actually gained or lost weight from it, let us know, because I'm very curious if it
not to discredit anyone. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean it was everywhere in hospitals. I remember, I think my brother was in the ER one time. And he just had a Wii there. There was just a Wii in the hospital, and they had Wii Fit, but there was also Mario Kart Wii and other stuff. But Wii Fit is definitely one of those games. Just anyone, like a senior citizen, or I don't know, Aunt Jemima will buy, and just have it collect dust. So
not Aunt Jemima.
That's why it's number 6.
Okay, so at number 5 we have another Wii game, Wii Play. This one is not shocking, both because of the game itself, but for anyone that doesn't know why this game sold so well, they packaged it with the Wiimote. And at the time, I believe Wiimotes retailed for $40, and Wii Play with the Wiimote was $50. So most people were like, fuck it, let's go and get the game as well. I actually like Wii Play, though. I think it's pretty fun. I don't think it's the 5th best Wii game, but, like for what it is, Tanks is, of course, iconic. I've always liked the table tennis one, but the table tennis one is kind of weird because unlike Wii Sports Resort, all you're doing is pointing at the screen. Or no, you're not even. Are you pointing, or is it just like you're holding the Wiimote up and just like moving it from side to side?
For which game?
For the table tennis one.
I think that's the IR sensor. Yeah, so you're pointing.
Okay, I think it's the shooting game that I like, the one that's like Duck Hunt, and then Tanks, obviously. And then also the horseback riding one is kind of fun in my opinion. But anyway, Wii Play should not be number 5. I think top 15, like if it was like between 15 and like 13, I could rock with that though. I do mess with some Wii Fit, or I keep saying Wii Fit, Wii Play.
Another case of having Wii in your title and selling millions. I mean, the game is called Wii Play, for crying out loud. Of course it was going to sell amazing. And also the fact it was bundled with a Wii remote also probably helped its case. Again, like Wii Play. What game should I pick up, little Timmy? Oh, the one that says Wii Play, Mom. It's Wii Play. Oh, okay, sure. So yeah, that's probably how it went. So that's probably how it went for 70% of all Wii Play owners. I never owned Wii Play, but I have played it a couple times at people's houses. Fun time. Yeah, Tanks is really fun.
No, Tanks actually is really fun. I remember, I think it was Silocock. Wait, how do you say his name? Silocock.
Silohawk? I know who you're talking.
He made a video. No, he made a video about We Play Tanks, and it was very well made. So yeah, We Play Tanks is great. Also, I just took a look at the timer, and this is going to be such a long episode. I think we're going to save the 3 questions that we were going to talk about for next week, because we're already going so over time right now. But it's worth it, because I love talking about the Wii. So number 4 is New Super Mario Bros. Wii. Of course, this was the first 2D Mario game to embrace multiplayer on the same screen. I think a lot of people don't like the multiplayer in this game because it's too chaotic, and I'm like, no, the multiplayer is awesome. Of course, with 4 people, I mean, yeah, you might be accidentally throwing each other off and everything, but in my opinion, that's it's just fun. I don't know. I think people need to loosen up a little bit. You know what I mean? Put a smile on your face. And embrace the chaos a little bit. New Super Mario Bros. Wii, though, the level design was much more open to accommodate for the multiplayer. I think compared to DS, it feels more slow paced. And a little bit easier as well. New Super Mario Bros. Wii, it still is a really fun game. Of course, it was released during the era where every Mario game felt the exact same. Although it was a little bit before that monotony had really started to set in, but it still is, in retrospect, lumped among those games. But I think for what it is, if we're just talking about the game in a vacuum, it's fun. So I mean, I don't know about 4, but top 10 maybe.
Mm-hmm. New Super Mario Bros. Wii sold a tiny bit less than New Super Mario Bros. On the DS, but it's not even by a million, so it was super wildly successful. To this day, it is the second best-selling Super Mario Bros. Game, period, other than the original, but the original is the original. If we're counting everything afterwards, there's New Super Mario Bros. And then there's New Super Mario Bros. Wii. This is a humongous monument for the Mario series. Multiplayer mayhem, that's kind of its selling point. I've seen so many clips on Instagram or Twitter of people, skillfully playing together or skillfully killing each other. And that's just the fun of it. It's so fun, again, to play with friends. Maybe when you're playing just single player, the level design does feel a little bit empty and just a little bit more wide open, mainly because it was built for multiplayer, and they zoomed out the camera a lot. So maybe in a single player setting, it's a little bit lonely, but in terms of multiplayer, this game is really fun. There's some moments that are a little annoying in multiplayer, but there's other moments that, that's what makes the game so fun. And sometimes I like that you don't get all that player collision in the multiplayer experience of Super Mario Bros. Wonder. But on another hand, I kind of miss the chaos in New Super Mario Bros. Wii. It's a bit of a balancing act. Would you rather play multiplayer like Super Mario Bros. Wonder or New Super Mario Bros. Wii? I guess it's just up to preference. It makes sense that this is number 4. It is a Mario game, and there is one more Mario game on this list that even usurps this one.
Yes. But before we get to that other Mario game, we have to talk about Wii Sports Resort. This is maybe my favorite Wii game. I'm being so serious. I love Wii Sports Resort. The only Wii game I would put above it is Galaxy. Wii Sports Resort, I think in terms of a sports game, I would go as far as to say it's the best sports game of all time. I think that so many of the games from Wii Sports Resort are so incredibly well made. Everything from swordplay to the island flyover mode, which, by the way, they did not have to go as crazy as they did with making Woohoo Island, but they did anyway, and I love it. Of course, basketball was awesome and iconic. I always love frisbee and frisbee golf. Bowling returns, and it's even better than it was in the original Wii Sports. What am I missing? Oh, I love that was the craziest brain fart.
I love it.
No, I love archery as well, especially with how you're able to like shoot the fruit that are like randomly hiding in the background. I could honestly go on and on about the games in Wii Sports Resort. I just love that game. So yes, this one's valid.
This is valid. I mean, it's just a better Wii Sports. I love the aesthetic of the game. I have a confession. I've never owned this game either, but I have played it at people's houses.
All right, so we are taking auditions for new host. Submit your resumes.
When I played of it, it's really fun. Again, love the aesthetic. They should have. This is just the best Wii Sports game. Screw you, Nintendo Switch Sports, and especially screw Wii Sports Club. You think Nintendo Switch Sports is bad? Look at Wii Sports Club.
but Donovan, you can use the Wii U gamepad to like look down as you play golf and then hit the ball.
You had to buy tennis or baseball. You had to buy them. That's so sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wii Sports Resort deserves to be number 3, and maybe deserves to be number 1. I think number 1 is pretty self-explanatory.
Well, before we get to number 1, we have Mario Kart Wii. I mean, I feel like there's no video game I've talked about more online than Mario Kart Wii, but I'll go and quickly summarize my thoughts. It is the most chaotic Mario game, or Mario Kart game, I mean. Even though Mario Kart World is up there, but I still think Mario Kart Wii is so zany. And it's also incredibly unbalanced, with the Flame Runner and Mach Bike being pretty much the only viable options online, and even many times for time trialing as well. Despite those, I still love this game to death. Controlling it is literally impeccable. Once you get a handle on how to make the best use of inside drifting, wheeling, tricking, all that kind of stuff, it becomes so much fun. The tracks in this game, debatably the best in the series in terms of the track roster of one specific Mario Kart game. A lot of people don't like the graphics, and I definitely don't prefer them, but I actually do kind of like how like bubbly and like blurry and smeary the look is.
Do you like the font?
The font? I mean, I don't really have an opinion about the font, to be honest.
Just straight Arial font.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really ever think about the font, but I just think about the smile on my face as I'm racing in the tracks, Donovan. What do you think about Mario Kart Wii?
Yeah, the font just kills the game for me. Fuck that game. Holy shit. Deserves to be number like 67. So on a real note, I love Mario Kart Wii. Was my childhood Mario Kart game other than Mario Kart DS. Played that game to death. I mean, what more can I say? It's Mario Kart, for crying out loud. I'm surprised that this is number 2. I thought Wii Sports Resort would actually be number 2, but no, Mario Kart Wii pulls through with the great innovation of the Wii wheel and motion controls. I think playing Mario Kart Wii with a Wii wheel is so hilarious and fun. Back in that game night that I was at, where I brought my Switch to, that I mentioned a couple, or maybe that was last episode, but someone also brought their Wii and they had Mario Kart Wii, so I played that game for the first time in like a year, and yeah, I played that with the Wii wheel. It's a goofy fun time. Every time I see someone that plays Mario Kart Wii with like a GameCube controller or like a classic controller, I just give them like a side eye.
I totally
Where's
don't
the
play the
joy
game
and
with
whimsy
those
in your
controllers. I totally don't do that. Yeah, Mario Kart Wii is
Alright,
better than
so
sex.
we
though.
need a new host.
That's my 2 cents. Finally, though, at number 1, literally the least shocking thing ever, it's Wii Sports. And even though I think Wii Sports Resort is the better game, I think Wii Sports is pretty much undisputably the Wii game. Like, if there's a Wii game to represent the console, it's Wii Sports. It's one of the most iconic games of all time. Everyone from you to your friend to your grandparent knows it and loves it. whether it be, watching Alvin and the Chipmunks and watching Toby break his TV with the Wiimote, to what other pop culture references are there to
that.
the Wii? I don't know. I think Wii Sports, like, even though it's not perfect and some of the sports like golf I don't like, I still think it's incredibly fun to revisit, and the mini games are a great touch, and the game is able to also very accurately guess your age. So there's that.
Wait, what?
Isn't there that mode where it like guesses your age or something? Like it like puts you in 3 of the mini games, and then based on your performance, it goes
yeah. I forgot about that.
And it's always accurate.
The Wii
it's
Fit thing.
No, it's Wii Sports, and it's never gotten mine wrong before. So yeah.
I mean, what other game do you think of when you think of the Wii? This definitely deserves to be number one. This is one of the most important games.
That's what I just fucking said, Donovan.
This is one of the most just iconic and low-key one of the most important games of all time. I might be insane saying that, but Wii Sports is...
No, you're not. It is.
Just a game changer for the entire medium. Is it quality-wise? Quality-wise, would I say it's the greatest game of all time?
Yes.
No, but it still is a super, super high-quality video game. Some say it could feel tech demo-y, but this is no welcome tour, Nintendo Switch 2 welcome tour. This is not that game. This is actually a really high-quality piece of software.
Yeah, and Reggie actually convinced Nintendo to package it free with the system, which is no doubt the reason why. But, yeah.
It would have been Wii Play, a different world we would have lived in. But yeah, Wii Sports number one. No surprise.
Okay. Wow, this episode went so much longer than I thought it was going to, but if you stuck around and listened to that, thank you so much. And also feel free to let us know in the comments, what do you think about the top 15 best-selling Wii games? Are there any Wii games that you wish were on it? I could definitely name some. WarioWare Smooth Moves, for example. It's a shame that no one bought that game. And what else is there?
My favorite Wii game probably is Xenoblade Chronicles, even though I played that on Switch.
You're such a Xenoblade Chronicles fanboy, Donovan. I feel like every episode...
Hey, I never played Xenoblade 2. I'm a Xenoblade 2 hater.
Anyway, I also underrated Wii game, Cooking Mama Cook-Off. Okay, all right, so let's go ahead and end this thing off. So thank you guys so much for
Carnival
watching.
Games.
So thank you. So thank you
Ninja
guys so
Bread
much.
Man.
Can I do the outro, Donovan?
No, bye.
So thank you guys so much for watching this episode. Before we sign off, Donovan, where can the people find you on the internet?
If you aren't sick of me, I'm DonovanDud on YouTube. Should be back to regular uploads if I make it through these two projects. You can also primarily interact with me on Discord via the Nintendo Boys. I'm also on Twitter and Instagram. So yeah. What about you?
So I am MrDean44, of course. You can find me on YouTube where I do lots of fun videos and stuff like that. I also have a Discord server called the Dean Kingdom. You should totally join that. It's a lot of fun. And then also I'm on Blue Sky and Twitter. But yeah, so that is where you can find me. So thank you guys so much once again. This is number 13. If you want to hear us talk about maybe some of the other consoles and its best-selling games, I feel like that'd be fun to like slowly hit every Nintendo console over time. So yeah, Donovan.
And what's on you? What games have you been playing? Let us know in the comments. What's on your special selects that we're now dubbing? Bye.